Music pours from tiny earbuds as a compressed file races across continents in a blink, far from images of strict Germany and loud engines. A nurse slides a patient toward a humming machine that makes bones glow like ghostly branches on a screen. Morning light hits a kitchen table where hot water drips through paper into a mug, while a small child pulls on a bright backpack marked kindergarten. Snow falls outside a living room where a tree stands inside, candles or lights on its branches, gifts tucked below, a wooden clock calling the hour. 17 German firsts hide inside ordinary objects shaping daily routines. This story reveals them and shifts how you see Germany. Everything starts with digital music. Inside a quiet lab in Bavaria, a group of young engineers fought a strange battle. They wanted music to shrink without sounding thin or broken. During long nights, one researcher, Karl-Heinz Brandenburg, played the same clear voice through heavy speakers, then through his new pod, searching for places where the sound cracked. Before this work, digital songs were huge, slow to send, and hard to store on small devices. Their method dropped notes human ears hardly notice and packed the rest into neat digital blocks, turning a storm of data into a light, quick stream. The name MP3 spread across the world, and phones, players, and music shops online soon relied on it, even while many users had no idea the core design came from Germany. Each time a playlist opens in seconds, a hidden German formula moves in the background. But the path towards such code began decades earlier with a different German mind building a strange metal machine. A very different scene unfolds in Berlin in the late 1930s, where engineer Konrad Zuse filled a small room with clacking switches, wires, and thin metal plates. He felt bored by hand calculations for building work and dreamed of a device that could handle long rows of numbers again and again without complaints or mistakes. Before his project, people used paper tables and simple adding tools that could not change steps by themselves. Zuse designed the Z3, a program-driven machine that followed stored instructions, flipped circuits for each tiny choice, and reached answers faster than any person in the room. That early computer did not look like a sleek laptop, yet its logic lives inside every phone, tablet, and server you touch. When you open a map or send a message, layers of German-born computer thought support each tap, and more German structure hides even deeper inside a thin piece of plastic in your wallet. In a more recent office, inventors Helmut Grotrup and Jürgen Detloff stared at plastic cards and asked a bold question. What if this simple card could think? Shops already used plain printed cards, which held no data and needed people to read long numbers by hand or trust easy-to-copy marks. The pair imagined a tiny chip pressed into the card, able to store codes, check secrets, and speak with machines through brief electric signals. First used for bank payments and phone lines in Germany, chip cards later shaped tickets, ID cards, transit passes, and door keys across cities far from their birthplace. Each time you tap a card and gates swing open, you touch this German blend of security and ease, and you glimpse how often German ideas slip quietly beneath daily habits. In a dark room in Würzburg, a physicist covered his glass tube with black paper and still saw a pale glow jump across to a nearby screen. Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen tested beam after beam and then placed his wife's hand between tube and plate, waiting as ghostly bones slowly formed on the sheet in front of him. Before this, doctors could only guess at broken bones and hidden bullets inside the body, using touch, pain, and luck. The strange rays passed through soft flesh, but met hard bone and metal, leaving bright marks where they stopped, like shadows turned inside out. Soon, hospitals in Germany used X-rays to set fractures and find objects, and very fast, this new sight spread into clinics and labs around the planet. When you see a chest picture pinned to a light panel, you watch Röntgen's moment replayed. And further German chemistry soon slipped into your bathroom cabinet as well. Perhaps the quietest German first hides in a tiny white pill that many people swallow without thinking, pressed from a powder shaped in a company lab on the Rhine. Chemist Felix Hoffmann wanted kinder help for his father's aching joints because older pain mixes from willow bark hurt the stomach and tasted harsh. Before his work, strong pain relief often meant rough tonics, poison risk, or alcohol, so many people simply lived with constant soreness. Hoffmann changed the acid in the bark into acetyl salicylic acid, later sold as aspirin, which eased pain and fever in safer, measured doses when taken with care. From there, millions used the tablet for headaches, tooth pain, and heart strain, yet the German hand behind that simple name often stayed in the shadows. Each time you split a pill along a scored line, you hold part of this German search for gentle help, and another German path found a way to store not pain, but sound. One of the strangest German ribbons carried no color at all, only songs, voices, and later computer data laid down in tiny magnetic fields. Engineer Fritz Plomer coated thin plastic with iron dust and ran it past metal heads that turned electric waves into patterns, so the strip could hold long recordings. Earlier, sound had to be carved into heavy discs that scratched, wore out, and could not be edited with ease. Magnetic tape let people cut, splice, and copy sound with clean joins, which soon shaped radio shows, studio music, and data storage systems, even as the German roots behind the brown reels faded from view. Whenever you drag a slider on a digital track, you still echo those spinning tape wheels, and more German ideas were also shaping how words, not sounds, could fly faster and reach more minds. Deep inside a mind's workshop, a goldsmith pressed ink onto metal letters locked tight in rows. Johannes Gutenberg wanted faster copies of church papers and bills, not a reading revolution. Before his press, slow scribes copied books by hand, so only rich homes owned many. Movable type let workers clamp letters into frames, roll ink across them, and press page after page. Soon, German print shops poured out Bibles, songs, and calendars, bringing cheap words into markets and kitchens. Whenever you scroll through paragraphs on a glowing screen, you follow a German path, first cut in metal. Across a village classroom, tiny chairs formed a circle while children sang and stacked wooden blocks. Friedrich Froebel saw that play, care, and song could teach better than strict drills. Before his idea, many pupils sat on hard benches, chanting lines with almost no color or toys. Froebel called his new room kindergarten, a children's garden, and filled it with games, patterns, and simple tasks for hands and eyes. Soon, German towns opened kindergartens, and even the name later appeared on doors far from his home. Whenever you see bright letters and tiny hooks for coats, you glimpse that German idea still alive. Inside a Bonn kitchen, a confectioner stirred sugar, flavor, and gelatin into a warm syrup. Hans Riegel poured the mix into bear molds, cooled it, and sold chewy shapes at fairs. Earlier sweets mostly crunched and vanished fast, with hard drops or brill blocks. Gummy bears stayed soft and bright, turning candy into a toy you could line up and share. Children across Germany swapped bears happily in schoolyards. Hidden in plain sight on many kitchen counters stands a German idea that changed how people drink hot coffee. In 1908 in Dresden, housewife Melita Benz grew tired of bitter grounds at the bottom of her cup and sludge stuck to metal sieves. Before her trick, boiling pots and cloth bags let fine grain slip through, so every drink ended with grit between teeth. She punched holes in a brass pot, placed blotting paper from her son's schoolbook inside, and poured the brew through this new liner. The paper held the grounds, letting clear, smooth coffee drip into a pot below. And soon she began selling small filter holders and packs of round sheets. Coffee in Germany slowly turned from a cloudy, slow ritual into a cleaner, easier habit. later copied in homes and cafes across the world. Each time you bend a paper cone or click a reusable filter into place, you echo Benz's kitchen experiment. Yet German hands also shaped how your winter holidays look. On a cold December evening in a small German town, a fir tree once stood not outside, but right in the middle of the parlor floor. Family members hung apples, nuts, and wax candles on its branches, then gathered close as a parent struck a match and the room filled with soft, flickering light. Earlier winter feasts used loose greenery and wreaths, yet no shared custom placed a whole tree indoors and dressed it like a shining guest. German churches and guild houses first used these trees, and later families carried the habit into homes, adding glass balls, tinsel, and handmade stars. From there, the bright tree spread through cities and villages, turning dark nights into scenes of color and small gifts. When you decorate a tree or watch lights blink in a window, you continue a distinctly German way of marking the season, though another carved object from German forests has also been teaching time in living rooms. Far from city streets, deep in the Black Forest, wooden workshops once rang with little saws, carving leaves, birds, and arches into thick boards. Clockmakers there built weight-driven clocks with swinging pendulums and tiny doors that snapped open on the hour. Before their work spread, many homes only heard time from plain wall clocks or faraway bells. By adding a bellows and whistle mechanism, they made carved birds lean out and cry "Cuckoo" for each hour count, while painted hands circled the face. Tourists in spa towns soon carried these clocks home as souvenirs, and German families passed them down as heirlooms. Whenever a small wooden bird pops up above your head, you listen to a playful German mix of craft, sound, and strict timing, and other German machines would take that same sense of rhythm onto the road. Along a dusty lane near Mannheim, a rattling carriage rolled without horses. Karl Benz had fixed a small engine onto a light frame and sent his wife Bertha on a daring test drive. Earlier, travel meant carts pulled by animals, slow and limited. The three-wheeler burned fuel, turned a crank, and moved itself along village roads. Soon German streets heard this new sound, and every car key you twist today still echoes that first ride, while another German builder pushed for quiet speed on two wheels. Some years later in Karlsruhe, Baron Karl von Dross glided on a wooden frame with two wheels but no pedals. His Lauf machine let riders sit low and push with their feet instead of walking. Before this, short trips meant long walks or clumsy hobby horses. The simple change of steering, height, and balance opened new speed for ordinary people. Each time you coast down a hill on a bike, you followed that German idea, and rails soon carried the same wish for smooth motion. Through a Berlin suburb, a quiet carriage once slid along rails, while a thin pole touched the wire above. Werner von Siemens had joined an electric motor to the axles and fed it from overhead lines. Earlier city coaches relied on horses that tired fast and blocked streets. The new tram pulled many riders, climbed gentle slopes, and stopped cleanly. Whenever you watch a streetcar glide past, you see this German dream of shared, ordered travel guiding crowded city life. Near Nuremberg, a craftsman once built a thick metal egg that did not sit on a tower wall but in a pocket close to the heart. Peter Henlein's spring Fritman watch let traders carry hours beside coins, while others still listened for distant bells. Whenever you glance at a wristwatch, that early German wish to hold time moves with you. Far away in Gingen, Margarita Steiff stitched plush into a small bear with jointed arms, soft ears, and a calm face. Toys had been hard and sharp. This one invited hugs. Each worn teddy beside a pillow keeps that gentle German idea alive today. Seen together, these 17 German firsts stop looking like random tricks and start to show a clear shape. One strong line is order in hidden places. The computer code, chip card, MP3 file, and tram system all make complex flows behave, so huge tasks feel simple on the surface while strict rules run quietly out of sight. Another line is care for bodies and daily comfort. X-rays, aspirin, coffee filters, and even teddy bears protect bones, calm pain, clear the cup, or soothe a child at night. A third line joins play with discipline. Kindergartens, gummy bears, cuckoo clocks, pocket watches, bikes, cars, printing, and Christmas trees turn strict timing, faith, or commerce into moments of color and fun. From far away, Germany can seem cold and heavy. Yet these inventions show a softer ambition, to build tools that work so well you barely notice them. By understanding that pattern, you see each quiet German object on your desk or in your memory as part of one long, thoughtful design. That shift changes how Germany feels in everyday life everywhere. From music files to teddy bears, these 17 German inventions show how one country quietly shaped mornings, journeys, work, play, and even winter nights. They hide inside cards, cups, tracks, trees, screens, clocks, pills, and toys that seem ordinary until you know their origin. The core insight is simple. German minds often aim for tools that make strict systems feel warm, playful, safe, and almost invisible. Subscribe for more deep stories about German culture, history, inventions, people, and daily life, and keep exploring how quiet ideas can shape the world you know. Stay curious and watch Journeys into Hidden Germany.